Boom, I'm in the room. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening from. You're here because there's nothing on the telly. And I'm coming to you from the old Heale Manor. And I'm your host, Lord Heale. Today, got a guest. Today we're going to talk about overcoming mental health and the stigma around it. And I'm always looking for guests. So if you want to come on the show, ping us a doobly what's it thingy bob, and I'll get you on the show and we'll have a chat. But today we're going to look at resilience and how it affects your nervous system, I think. So without too much further ado, I'm going to bring my guest in. NatNat, how you
Hi,
doing?
Tim.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Tim. I'm looking forward to this playful conversation.
So am I. I mean, I know a little bit about resilience and overcoming some trauma and all the rest of it, but trying to understand how it affects your nervous system, I'm interested to find that out. So, I'll let you have a chat. Tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into doing what you do. So, the floor's yours.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for the listeners for tuning in. So, my name is Natalie Bedard, known as NatNat. I have a company called Lift OneSelf, where I do energy healing. I live in Canada, in Ottawa, Ontario, which is the capital of Canada. And what brought me into energy healing is that I almost died 10 years ago. So I had lesions in my brainstem and in my cerebellum, and I was hospitalized for almost 40 days. And in that, they did a battery of tests, yet they couldn't find what the root cause for these lesions. And they the prognosis for me, they as I said, was death. And if I were to continue to live, that I wouldn't be able to walk, I wouldn't be able to really formulate thoughts or be able to really have independence in my life. And so I was released from the hospital without a plan, without a diagnosis, so in the wilderness. And because of these lesions in my brainstem and my cerebellum, I got a front seat to the nervous system within myself and see how, the neural energy and the chemical dumps when we feel certain emotions or interactions or our senses are activated with the nervous system. And then I learned meditation in the form of TM, which is transcendental meditation. And at the time, when I had the lesions, they were four. I have twin boys that are four. And then when I learned meditation, they were five. And when you learn meditation, they tell you to create a quiet room so that you can drop in and just be still and meditate. Well, my life didn't have quietness. So I took meditation into the living room while the twins were fighting or listening to the telly or playing or roughhousing. And then I even got more in-depth understanding of the nervous system of trying to control things and feel things and trying to go outside of itself, and how there was a way to observe and not be identified with the nervous system. So it gave space. So I continued in that journey internally and doing a lot of biohacking and also somatically releasing a lot of trauma that was stored in my body, and coming back, connecting into my body, into the self. And while doing that, my body was coming back online. And the neurologist and the neurosurgeon was like, I don't understand how the lesions came, and I don't know how they came to repair themselves. Yet what you're explaining to us sounds like some mindfulness. So continue on. And in my mind, I thought, well, you would want to study me. Like, if I'm getting better and it's coming internally, wouldn't you want to give the tools to others? Yet, unfortunately, they were not of that same mindset. And so I just profoundly kept, going internally, understanding myself and allowing a wisdom to come through. And that's when I decided, after meditating, that to create my company, which is called Lift OneSelf. in 2019. And since then, I've just been holding space for people to do that healing process, to understand their biology, and to face the pain and fear. I changed the definition of fear, where a lot of people are saying don't fear, where it's actually healthy and you can actually use its energy in a way that you can guide where you want to go. So that is the gist of who I am and what I offer. And I'm looking forward to explain a little bit more what resilience and what the nervous system is with the questions and conversation that we're going to get into.
Whoa, that sounds like a bit of a journey,
Yeah,
especially with a couple of saucepan lids. I
yeah,
mean, twins. I mean, there are a couple of different types of twins. They're the ones that get really on together, and there's the ones that don't, and they're
uh-huh,
always rolling around, scrapping with each other.
yeah.
How do you manage to get a quiet space with a couple of 5 year olds? Do you
I
know
didn't.
1 foot to the floor and let them run round in circles, or do you gag them?
Yeah, no, I didn't. That's why it was, it was illogical in my current lived experience because I'm a solo parent. So there's not somebody say tag team and you watch them and mind them. And at 5 years old, curiosity kicks in real quick and you want to go do things that may be unsafe. So when there's too much silence, you're like, what are they up to? What's going on? So that's why I took it into the living room in the everyday living, so that meditation wasn't just something that you go pop yourself on a pillow. You bring it into your everyday experience so that you can regulate your nervous system and you can, tap in, drop in to see, what am I feeling? What is the experience internally? Are there certain
Hmm.
emotions that might be hijacking my behavior and how I'm responding or reacting rather with people that are around me? Am I connected with them, or am I in a defense? So really being able to engage and have that accountability for myself and not project it onto others.
So obviously you're not going to have the ideal place to meditate. So how do you overcome that? How and when do you do it? Do you wait until they've gone to bed and they're fast asleep and then do it, or do you have to do it as and when you need to?
Well, I had at the beginning, I had a sitting practice of twice a day and I would do it for 20 minutes. And sometimes they would be asleep because I get up earlier than they would. So sometimes that was like 5 in the morning, 4:30, because they were early risers. Yet just cultivating that, you know, circadian rhythm of being up at the sunrise and being in that stillness and being able to process. And then I would do it again in the afternoon. And at times it depended on what the lived experience. Sometimes I had a quiet time, other times I didn't. And then I just engaged with it more and more, and I stretched the time of meditation and I stretched where it was. So sometimes in the car, sometimes at the park, sometimes in the mall, like, wherever I was, it was like, "Okay, engage. If my body is needing this right now, let me take a mindful moment, and let me actually use the practice not in a way of when things are, going wrong. It's actually ensuring that I'm using it all the time so I can ride the waves of life. And so when the big waves come like tsunami, I'm not drowning in it because I have the tools to be able to navigate some of that. Doesn't mean it's not challenging. Of course it is. And of course I feel my emotions and all that. Yet it's nothing, it's more in a response now than it is than before when it was reactive and just being let go and drowning. So
So so how did you go about learning this stuff?
would you be willing to do a small meditation with me?
Give it a go. Mind you,
Okay.
having
Uh,
said that, I mean this also goes out on audio, on audio. So if it
yeah,
goes quiet,
yeah. If it goes quiet, just understand that you're just taking that moment. So as I guide ourselves, Tim, It's also for the listeners, and they're able to follow in this meditation. It's only going to be about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Yet it's to ground yourself in the breath. I'm going to ask us to close our eyes, but like you said, it's audio, and most times people are driving or doing something with their visual. So please don't close your eyes. I want you to be safe and everybody else around you to be safe. Also, like the prompts you're able to use, yet with my voice and the way my energy is, it can bring people into a real relaxation. So if you're feeling too relaxed with whatever activity, just fast forward over to our conversation. And when you have time, come back to do that mindful moment so you can see the benefits of what that does for you. So, Tim, I'll ask you to get comfortable in your seat, and I'm going to ask you to
Yep.
gently close your eyes.
Or
And
just
you're
shut
going to
them.
begin pardon?
I just shut them. So,
Okay,
I did it quick. I didn't do it gentle. So gently
it's
shut
okay.
them. That's
Okay,
it. Gentle.
gently. And you're going to begin breathing in and out through your nose. And you're going to bring your awareness to watching your breath go in and out through your nose. You're not going to try and control your breath. You're just going to be aware of its rhythm while watching it go in and out through your nose. There may be some sensations or feelings that are stirring up in the body. Let them come up. You're safe to feel. You're safe to let go. Surrender the need to control. Release the need to resist and just be. Be with your breath. Drop into your body. And keep your awareness on your breath. By now, there may have been some thoughts or memories that are coming up. It's fine. Just bring your awareness back to your breath. And staying with your breath, yet observing those thoughts and memories from a distance. And drop deeper into your body. Again, if those thoughts or memories came up, just bring your awareness back to your breath. And just watch your breath go in and out. And just stay with your breath. And drop deeper into your body. Continue staying with your breath. Now, while still staying with your breath, at your own time and at your own pace, you're going to gently open your eyes while staying with your breath.
Oh, I'm
How do
back.
you feel?
Oh, I nearly nodded off then. Yeah, different. Yeah, I'll have to give that a go.
hmm That's what I mean about engaging with your nervous system. So, our breath is always in the moment, and our breath is what helps to regulate our nervous system. And I understand that a lot of people will hear, well, just breathe. And they're like, I am already breathing. Stop telling me to breathe. Where it's actually bringing your focus to your breath so
Hmm.
that you can start to recognize what's going on internally. We're so anchored to look on the outside of ourselves rather than look within and blend the two so that you have a better understanding of what's going on internally and to validate yourself. A lot of times we
I
don't get
did find
validation.
that, thoughts coming in, and then pushed them away when I was breathing. Um, but it was difficult. It's difficult. It's a challenge not to think of other stuff while you're breathing.
Yeah.
and to,
Yeah.
to just to focus in on the breath.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, and that's where you start to engage with that nervous system of, wait, I don't have to be all into these thoughts. I don't have to try to, because the one function of the nervous system is not to die. And the nervous system is based off of negative bias. It's looking for all of the problems, and it's looking for what is unsafe, what can kill us, what could threaten us. And so when it's activated, it's in full throttle of looking at that. And what it does is it takes past experiences that you've experienced, and it's finding similarities of how it can be replicated. And so if you haven't really processed your experience, and what I mean by process is feel your authentic emotions that came up in that experience, then there's this supercharge that goes on. And that activates more and more fear. And then the nervous system's like in a lot of negative bias. And so by coming into your breath, you get to see, like, where am I? What am I feeling? And to engage with the nervous system to deactivate that defense mechanism. And so that you can be in the vulnerability and be in that peace and joy and relaxation, and then start finding solutions also. So it's really understanding that biology.
Hmm. So, how long ideally would you just take that moment to relax and concentrate on your breathing?
Well, you saw that we only did it for about a minute and a half. Imagine if everybody did that on every hour.
Mm.
Just sitting on the loo or just washing the dishes or driving somewhere or, just or when you're in a heated conversation with somebody, like, just wait, let me check in with myself before I get caught up in that whirlwind. And so that's where I'm, bringing the meditation in the everyday, not just, oh, I'll meditate at night and that's all. And yes,
Mm.
there's a sitting practice of processing and letting all the things that you've experienced through the day to let the body somatically release it. And when I say somatically, it's that the body will have an expression and movement to release the energy that's in there. Yet at times when it's trying to do a somatic, our filter of analyzing shuts it back down. It's like, no, 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 we don't have time for this right now. So you have to cultivate a time to allow that body to release all those sensations without rationalizing or analyzing it. And the one method that I tell people, I understand, like, they say meditation's only sitting. It's like, put some music on. Start dancing. That's a great practice of movement and somatic, and feel, the emotions that are going on within your body and allow it to have expression. Because life is challenging. We're faced with a lot of different things. Life is impermanent. And so the body stores all this stuff, the nervous system stores, and so it needs that expression to release it.
Especially in this times of life. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much goes on all around us, all of the time. It's just, oh, well, don't need that. I thought I had it on
There we
silent.
go. That's the
There's a
distractions that we have.
distraction. Yeah.
The
And that happens all the time.
technology has changed a lot for us.
Yeah.
And, like, some of this stuff that we're aware of, our mind isn't meant to know all the stuff that goes on in the world, because it has us in a rocking chair, doing a lot of movement, but not being able to go anywhere because there's not action that you can take, yet you're activated with fear. So when you're hearing about all these things going on in the world, your body's like, what can I do to create that safety? How
Yeah.
can I help, or how can I make it stop? Yet logically, you see, like, there's no action I can take with this. So I'm just being stuffed with a lot of stuff that I'm not able to take any solutions with. Yet the solution that you can take is being in your moment and being that change, interacting with the people around you in such a different way, shifting your perception with that.
So that's the key then. It's building into your day meditation, building into your day just looking at your inner self. Give yourself that. I mean, we call it a condor moment. Just take a step back, uh, light your old Panatella, and just have a moment,
Yeah.
and just to reflect on your day, and prioritize stuff that you, needs to be done. That's got nothing to do with you, and don't care less.
Yeah. It's, you have a limited time. Time is a tool, not a toy. And a
Yeah,
lot of the time that we exert out is on things that have nothing to do with our personal life. And then we wonder why we're frustrated or depleted or depressed or not having joy. Another thing I tell my clients and people that will listen, it's like, are you playing in your everyday? Where is the play in your life? The unstructured play. Like your life is to be enjoyed, even if you have challenges.
yeah,
You need to be
absolutely.
able to activate and, energize your energy.
I've got this incurable thing. It's actually called the Peter Pan syndrome, and I've got no intention of getting a cure for it.
Yeah. It's that curiosity and playfulness, and a lot of people have been, separated from that. And so when you
Yeah.
see the seriousness and you see the frustration, it's like, do you have any play in your life? I don't have time for that. I gotta be serious. And it's like, whoa, that's not
Mm,
an enjoyable life. You're
yeah.
just going through
There's,
the
there's
motions. You're not
there's no
being
point in
alive.
taking life too seriously.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, obviously there's things that get in the way. You have to go to work, earn a living, so you can go and enjoy yourself. Um,
Hmm.
but you've got to give yourself time to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, life without fun, you're just miserable,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
rubs
And that's
off
why
on other people. The last thing you want is to have your misery rub off on some poor sap that's just not suspecting it.
yeah.
A
And
nice, happy
that's what
person,
happens
and,
a lot.
and your misery sort of affects their happiness. Um,
Yep.
just think about that next time. That
Exactly. Because we're feeling bodies that think. So when you
yeah,
go into a room and your body's telling you, something's off with a person, or you're speaking with somebody and it's just not resonating, we have been disconnected from that. Because
yeah,
most times when we were young, we went into a room and we said, something feels off. Yet our parents or caretakers said, oh, no, 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 there's nothing wrong. So we started disconnecting with that feeling, that sensation of reading the vibrations and energy that was emitting from the emotions, because the caretakers told us, everything was fine. So we trusted them rather than our biology. And we believed the
yeah,
lie and left our truth. And then later on, we came to see, oh, you guys didn't know how to let us know about anger and conflict and sadness and stress. So we started thinking, well, this is some foreign thing rather than being able to engage with this. And so I let people know, like, the work too is coming back and trusting yourself, to trust your intuition. And when people are saying, "Oh, well, not to have fear," I'm like, "Well, if you wanna come back into your intuition, your gut feeling, reading things, it's gonna activate fear because it's gonna go into the unknown and uncertainty."
yeah,
Like, intuition requires curiosity. Curiosity always goes into the unknown and uncertainty. So it's going to activate, the fear. It's gonna activate that nervous system, yet you're there to tell the nervous system, "Okay, we don't have to go full throttle on the defense mechanisms. We're just observing. We're just seeing what the terrain is, yet we're safe to do that."
mm.
Even with the butterflies and the nervousness and the what if, the should, or oh my gosh, it's like, just
Sometimes
keep going.
that's really good to
Yeah,
get your senses heightened that way,
yeah,
and
mhm,
to tackle fear head on, and that sometimes is a really good thing to do, is to conquer your fears.
Face it.
Yeah, face your fears.
And use it
And
though, not even a
yeah,
conquering. You can use that energy.
yeah,
We haven't been
absolutely.
taught to use that energy. We've been taught it's only violent, and that is true. When there's too much of it and you're trying to protect yourself, you're going to be defense like you just said. You're in a certain mood and then you dump and project that on somebody and they were fine and then you just, messed up their whole energy field if they don't have the tools to not let that. So those are the microaggressions and things that can take place. Yet, if you take the responsibility, I have this, and face it and question, why are you so activated? Then you're able to use that to be like, oh, I'm okay to do this. I'm okay to
Yeah,
feel this. And use that. Breathe through it. Most people don't breathe through fear.
yeah. It's that fight or flight, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And people sort of freeze and hold their breath and don't know.
Yeah,
And all you need to do is take that condor moment.
yeah,
Okay, let's get in there.
yeah. Let's see what it is, because a lot of times people will berate anxiety or feeling fear, and yes, it's debilitating for some people. It's asking your biology, why are you activated? What are the underpinnings? It's not just anxiety. Your
Yeah,
biology is there to always protect you. Yes, it could be a pain because it's not going the way that you want to, and it feels really uncomfortable inside. Yet when you start facing it, and rather than running away from it or pathologizing it, that it's, well, I just have this and there's nothing I can do about it. It's like, no, face it. It's trying to protect you. So what are these emotions? Because when the
yeah.
anxiety comes up, it's probably some authentic emotions you're not feeling. You haven't been able to have that safe space to feel that.
And I think the key is that if you're still breathing, you can do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's when you've stopped breathing and it's over, you can't do anything with it.
No.
And life's too short.
It is. Time is a tool, not a toy.
Yep. Times for having fun.
Yeah. And
Live
enjoying
out.
and doing whatever fulfills you.
Yeah, I have a saying: live every day as though it's your last, because
Mhm.
one day it will be. The last thing you want to do is turn up at the pearly gates and have a word with Pete and say, "I regretted I didn't do that," or "I should have done that and I didn't." Don't turn up at the pearly gates with regrets. If you see an
Mhm.
opportunity, grab it with both hands, jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yeah, and to do that, you're going to need to ride your fear. It will help you do that
Absolutely. Yep.
without it's those defense mechanisms. It's like, you know what? Open the gate. We can jump. We can leap. And now
Yeah.
you're going to help me to do that leaping.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, we're all walking each other home.
Absolutely. Well, Nat, that's been fascinating. Is there how can people get hold of you?
So my website is called liftoneself.com. So that's LIFTONESELF.com. And I also have a podcast that's called Lift OneSelf, where I have conversations with people about the mental health. And on my website, they can come in to do a 15-minute discovery call to see if they want to do some sessions to better understand themselves and interact with their nervous system. I offer this on Zoom, and I have many clients around the world, because some people think it always has to be in person, and it's like, we just did this moment of breath, and you saw the results of it.
Yeah.
So, if any listener felt any opening, just shoot me a message, and I'm willing to answer any questions. And, my main priority is safety and healing. And I'm also
Mm.
on social media under Lift OneSelf also.
And you'll find all those details in the description. So, thank you so much. That's fascinating.
Thank you, Tim, and it's been a pleasure to be here and to also offer information to your listeners. So, for yourself and for your listeners, I want to say, please remember to be kind to yourself. You matter.
Absolutely. Wow. I think that I'm going to start doing that meditation. Really felt something. It's quite difficult at first to sort of concentrate just on the breath and stop things coming in. Oop. Start beating the mic up. What am I like? Anyway, you'll find all the details down in the description. If you like what we do, pass the word. Let other people know. And be safe out there. So until the next one, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.